Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. So what I'm about to show you is a prime example of what happens when you listen to the likes of Candace Owens, Daryl Cooper, Ian Carroll, the Hodge twins, Dan Bilzerian, and the list can go on and on and on nowadays because there's a lot of brain rot that those people are actually producing for the internet, saying that the Jews are responsible for everything bad in society at the moment. Candace Owens loves to think that the Jews are responsible for everything. She believes that space is fake and gay, that too. So that kind of worries me a great deal. Now, Charlie Kirk, on the other hand, is someone that I actually really respect and revere. And I actually love what he has to say most of the time. He goes on college campuses, as you know, with Turning Point USA. He's done a very good job with Turning Point USA in like talking to lots of college students. He's gone viral. Everyone knows who Charlie Kirk is. I mean, hell, even Gavin Newsom's son, I think, watches Charlie Kirk, which is a good thing. You don't want to listen to the likes of Candace Owens and all these other dingbats because it seems like the more they talk, the more crazy stuff come out of their mouth. But nevertheless, Charlie is very well known for having debates or conversations, as you should say, with college students. And this one in particular is doing the rounds over on X because it happens to do with who won the 9/11 debate between Charlie Kirk and some random dude that seemingly listens to a lot of the Candace Owens bent of the internet, the woke right, as we call it, the most insane conspiracy theorists ever. Like, it's actually really concerning and crazy. But in college campuses, you've got a lot of brain rot too. So they've got the woke left brain rot, which is one side that Charlie has to deal with. And you've also got the woke right, the woke left brain rot versus woke right brain rot, which is people like this, for example. Have a watch.
Go to 9/11, Charlie.
Oh, they did. Wow. Who were the hijackers of the planes?
They weren't hijackers.
Oh,
CIA. CIA and Israel worked together.
No. Explain to me what happened on the aircraft.
Okay, first off, what we have to understand, there's only one plane that actually crashed.
No,
okay,
there were three.
No, the building's imploded.
Okay,
if a plane's going to hit a building, why would the building fall down?
Time out. Flight 93, did it exist?
Flight 93 existed, yes.
Okay, so who tried to hijack that plane?
They sacrificed those people to make it look like Bush
No,
was targeted because they wanted to cover up
Right.
Bush's involvement.
So
he just happened to be in Texas reading a book to elementary kids, and they're reading a sign on a
Guys,
whiteboard
let me say
that
this.
talks about towers falling, Charlie.
Anti-Semitism.
We have been lied to since the beginning of this country. Jews, Freemasons, all of it's a satanic agenda. Israel is the synagogue of Satan. They're killing innocent people in Palestine over the guise of sovereignty. New World Order is coming, Charlie.
Guys, let me tell you. Anti-Semitism is literally a brain cancer, as you could see.
How is this anti-Semitic, Charlie? How is it anti-Semitic?
How is it anti-Semitic?
How am I hating on Jews when I'm saying that they...
You keep interrupting me. Israel did 9/11 is a rather anti-Semitic thing to say. Explain to me Flight 93 and the families aboard that lost their loved ones. Who actually was the hijacker? Was it a Mossad agent?
No.
Okay, who was it?
The government put them there.
No, who was it?
They crashed a plane intentionally to make it look like George W. Bush was targeted.
Who was the hijacker? No, this is important. They can never answer this question. Who was the hijacker?
They didn't have real hijackers, Charlie. They were plants.
Okay. So when
they were plants, CIA, Mossad created
So when
Hamas.
they got the black box, of course, it was all just like a conspiracy.
Just like they found the passport miraculously 2 miles down from the crash site.
There's so much wrong with your worldview, but the biggest problem with your worldview is this: is that you are looking to other people to blame for all of our problems, especially a small group of people. Your obsession with this group of people is so unhealthy. And it's not merited. In fact, anti-Semitism is literally a brain rot that stops your ability to think independently, and you start blaming everything on a very small group of people. And let me say, that has no place in decent society.
I wonder where this guy got all of his talking points from, because I don't know about you, but I've heard these talking points, these very exact talking points from somebody else. Can you guess who I'm referring to? Yes, you already guessed it, ladies and gentlemen. Candace Owens. Very, very similar talking points. CIA, Israel, they teamed up. Also, Ian Carroll does the exact same thing. They're both just as bad as each other. CIA, Israel teamed up to cause one of the worst atrocities in American history. Not Osama bin Laden, the one that actually claimed that he did it, and the terror group that were responsible for committing 9/11 in the first place. No, it was a rabid Israeli and CIA thing. And apparently Osama bin Laden had nothing to do with it, according to these dingbats that have got no idea. And he's like, we've been lied to from the very beginning of America, Charlie. Yeah, mate, you need to get your head screwed on straight, because you see, you have got a little bit of crazy floating around in your head. And I don't think it's the right kind of crazy at all. There's a good kind of crazy, and then there's a bad kind of crazy, the ones that actually think that they know what the hell they're talking about, the conspiracy nut jobs. And yes, I understand that some conspiracy theories, like the lab leak theory, happen to end up being true. But when it comes to 9/11, for example, when 3 planes crashed and the World Trade Center collapsed and thousands of innocent people died, and you had an actual terror leader say, this was us, this was because we hate America and we want America to pay for their sin and everything else, debauchery that is wrong, like with the Western world. So they were making a huge statement to America. And obviously you have people like this that hate their own country so much, they would much rather blame 9/11 on CIA and the Jews, rather than actually point out that it was Islam and, well, terror people that committed 9/11. So I've heard all the conspiracy theories before. So has Charlie Kirk. And Charlie rightfully points out that anti-Semitism starts exactly like this. It's wrong and it shouldn't be going on. But this is exactly what happens when you listen to the wrong people, the ones that think that they know what they're talking about, but they've got absolutely no idea. They're saying very, very provocative things. And the problem is you've got vulnerable people like this that will go, oh, she definitely has a point. Ian Carroll's definitely got a point now too. So does Dan Bilzerian. Like, they have got no idea what they're talking about at all. But yet they claim that they do. So all it takes is a little bit of a seed to be planted, and then it starts growing. The more and more crazy stuff they start talking about, and they get further and further away from the truth. They blame everything on the Jews. This guy brings up Palestine. Jews are apparently evil. They're committing so many atrocities in Palestine at the moment, or in Gaza. Like, these people need significant help. Charlie Kirk said it at the end brilliantly. Anti-Semitism is literally a brain rot that stops you from thinking about anything that is truthful, because then you start blaming everything on a small group of people that had literally nothing to do with 9/11. How is it possible? This is amazing to me. How is it possible that if what Candace Owens is saying is anywhere remotely true, how is it possible that a very small nation in the Middle East is responsible for all of the world's atrocities? Like, how is that even remotely true or possible? Let's just think about that for a moment. But the problem is, anti-Semitic individuals are so fixated on the fact that Israel committed all these supposed atrocities around the world, when they completely missed the real facts. Even Osama bin Laden made a video claiming that he did 9/11, and still they blame it on the Jews. Still the Jews' fault somehow. They committed what Osama bin Laden made the claim. Like, honestly? So you're really saying that CIA and Israel put Osama bin Laden up to it, right? Okay. And then also these terror bombers, right? They willingly did it. They willingly hijacked the planes. All because, you know, eventually it was going to be found out that it was, hey, guess what? The Jews. No, they did it because Islam is a death cult. And obviously they wanted to make America pay. They hated America. They hate the West. They hate the Jews. They hate everybody except other people that are just like them. So the thing is, like Charlie said, anti-Semitic things that are happening in our world is causing a lot of brain rot. And guess who's at the center of it? Major podcasters like Candace Owens, Ian Carroll, and they're given a major platform to spew the hatred out. And people listen, like the video that I made yesterday. It's amazing how many people actually still love Candace Owens and think she's on a roll. Maybe people need to start like waking up a little bit more when she starts saying things like space is fake and gay. Hello? Anyway, that's enough from me, but you guys take care, be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.